This might be where we're starting, because I really believe that your evenings are where you have the most opportunity to influence the next day. We have the ability to go to bed later. Even if it's not fun, we still have that extra time. Our evenings we can control. And once you understand it, then you're going to understand how to carry this technique into every area of your life. Hey mamas, are you constantly trying to fix your routines just to watch them fall apart the second life gets chaotic again? You keep thinking, why can I not just get it together? Maybe you've bought the planners, followed the schedules, and even set a few alarms to get back on track and get organized. But somehow, no matter how hard you try, you keep ending up back at square one, overwhelmed, overstimulated, and exhausted. And you just keep wondering why this feels so hard. That maybe you're just not a structured mom and that life will always be chaotic. But here's what no one told you. Your brain isn't wired to prioritize to-do lists when it's in chaos management mode. It's not that you're lazy or don't care, it's that your nervous system is overloaded. And when you're constantly managing chaos, your emotions will always win. But that is exactly why habit stacking works, because it doesn't ask your mind to do more. It teaches your brain to feel safe again through small, predictable wins, structure, and simple rhythms that are easy to repeat even when life gets chaotic. And if you've been listening thinking, okay, fine, I believe you, but how do I actually start? Well, I've got you. I'm hosting a live habit stacking reset workshop on June 24th at 10 a.m. Central, and this is your official invitation. This isn't just another pep talk. It's a hands-on workshop where I'll walk you step by step through stacking your current evening reset routine. Together, we'll figure out what's working, what's not, and what needs to shift. Because a better evening means a smoother morning, and a smoother morning means a less chaotic day. You'll learn how to break down your routine, rebuild it using habit stacking so it actually helps you reset your overwhelm. By the end of the workshop, you'll have your very own first personalized habit stack, built to use that same night. 1 hour, 1 stack. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels and ready for a routine that actually handles your real life, then this is your next step. Save your seat now, check the link in the show notes below, or go to bit.ly/HSReset2025. Let's make habit stacking your new secret weapon for a smoother, more sustainable home life. I'll see you there. Hey mamas, welcome back. So you're going to want to listen up today because this is your last chance to register for the Habit Stacking Reset Workshop. It is happening tomorrow. If you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed or just totally out of a rhythm lately, then this is your moment because summer's here and I get it. I know it's tricky to throw a workshop in the middle of summer, but I felt like it would be really important because we all feel a little chaotic this time of year. So this is the moment that could help you change the direction of your entire summer. So today I'm going to walk you through why mastering the baby steps is far more powerful than chasing some giant all or nothing overhaul. If you've been trying to fix it all at once, which we're all very guilty of, I've done that many times, then this episode is your permission slip to just slow down, zoom in, and take just one aligned step forward. Just one. Because that one step, when it's done with intention, it can create a ripple effect through your entire routines. And here's the thing. If you're listening along right now and you're thinking, well, that's me. I've tried to do it. I've done it all. It never sticks. Then I want you in the workshop tomorrow. Take 1 hour out of your day, pop into the workshop. It's 1 hour, and we're going to go a lot deeper into that exact idea. How baby steps, when they are done intentionally, can create powerful routines that'll actually hold. Because I'll be teaching you the importance of building a repeatable evening reset that's going to support the day ahead, the next day that's coming. The reset routine that's going to fit your real life chaos, and it's going to give you so much more structure inside of your evenings that I believe is going to carry over into the upcoming day. So if today's episode is really resonating with you, don't just listen. go register. Go down to the show notes and click on the link in them because you're going to walk away from this workshop with so much more clarity and a simple stacking strategy and plan that you're going to be able to apply to any area. So if evening routines aren't your problem, that's okay. This is just where we are starting, the evening routine, because I believe it has the biggest ability to have a ripple effect in your routines in general. So I want to tell you about the biggest epiphany I've ever had with routines. It wasn't some major mindset shift or a magical dose of motivation out of nowhere. It wasn't because I had discipline. A lot of people will say, you're just so disciplined and structured. And I like discipline. I like structure, but it takes a lot of work for me. It wasn't like I finally got all the bins in my home color-coded perfectly. And it wasn't some massive plan that I prepped and worked on for weeks at a time that I finally hit the start button on. I want to take you back to 2024, 9 months before I started this podcast. I finally decided to get a grip on the clutter inside of my home. It had accumulated so much over 8 years. I know you can relate to this. Once you have kids, you just accumulate so many things, from the toys to the baby gear to the breast pumps, all of the stuff. And we finally decided that it was time. It was just time to get a grip on the clutter inside of our home. So we've spent the entire spring in renovation mode. We redid the kitchen, we cleared space, removed excess, and worked through each room by room. And we were just tackling all of the baby stuff, all of the things we needed to get rid of and that we had been trying to do for years. And you know what? We got pretty far. We did really good that year. By the time fall rolled around, the only space we hadn't touched was the garage. So I felt pretty good about that. And we said, you know what? It's okay. We're going to leave it alone and circle back to it in the spring. So the winter came, and guess what happened? Slowly the clutter returned. Not just one place, but in almost every single room in the house. That was at the start of this year. After I had made so much progress in 2024, I found myself 365 days later right back where I started. That was super unmotivating, but that is when it hit me. If I wanted lasting change, if I wanted to feel like I was actually moving forward and not just doing more or chasing all the chaos everywhere, I had to stop chasing the projects then, the ones that had a start and a finish. I had to start building habits, the kind of habits that don't just come and go, because the big shifts don't come from one-time effort. They come from what we repeat, from what we practice. And here's what I've noticed in a season of overwhelm. We will all eventually reach a breaking point. That feeling of, I'm done. I'm just done. I've had it. That moment where we finally say, this has to change. I am ready to make a change. And so we dive in. We go all in. We try to declutter the entire house. We're going to eat healthier. We're going to start working out. And we do it all at the same time because we're impatient. We, as a society, want the success right away. And at first, you might feel very inspired, full of energy and inspiration, but it's a lot to carry. We're going to tackle it. We're going to knock it out. But the truth is, we haven't built the strength to carry that much discipline yet, to carry that much consistency all at once. We don't have that muscle yet, the muscle memory to make that happen. So what do? Well, we tackle it all at once, and then we begin to drop the weight. Maybe we stop working out at first. Then we start skipping meals again or snacking more often, or we'll just eat out tonight. We stop meal planning. We stop doing all the things that were working. We stop it. And suddenly we find ourselves carrying the wave of guilt. That inner voice that starts whispering to us, see, you can't follow through. You can't do it. And that is where failure begins, or at least the sense of failure. But the thing is, failure doesn't mean you weren't capable. That's the biggest mistake people make, is they think that I didn't do it, I couldn't accomplish it, so I failed. I must not be able to do it. That is not what it means. It doesn't mean you weren't capable. It just means that you were carrying too much too fast. Failure is often the result of an unrealistic expectation. not the lack of potential. But we get all in our head and start saying, oh, we can't do this. We can't make this work. It's what happens when we try to build 5 routines at the same time instead of mastering one, just one. So we added decluttering and workouts and new recipes. It's not realistic. And when we redefine failure inside of our mind, not as proof that we're not cut out for this, but as a sign to shift our strategy, that is when real change becomes possible. Because if you would have slowed down, like way down, right? Slow, super way down, and focused on perfecting one routine first, you would have built the confidence. You would have built the consistency, and you would have created the strength to carry more later. Slow down that desire to be impatient. Get rid of it. You could have taken that one routine and reworked it over and over intentionally, just one habit at a time, until you found a rhythm that was easy to maintain, not just for a few weeks, but for 20 years, 30 years. That's the difference between a short-term fix and a lifestyle shift. One that leads to burnout and the other leads to transformation. And that is what I'm hoping to help you with. Transformation takes time, and it starts with one routine. But instead, we skip that foundational layer, and we try to stack everything at one time because society is throwing things at us so quickly. Between school and trips and vacations and holidays and birthdays and all the things, it's very difficult to say, no, I'm just focusing on one thing. But that's the key. My real shift happened when I picked up just one thing and chose to start repeating it on purpose. When I shrunk down and I started focusing on what I was finally able to build were the habits that actually still stick with me today. Not because I had more discipline. It really doesn't have a ton to do with discipline. It has to do with not trying to do everything at once and simplifying the chaos. Finding a way to not feel as overwhelmed, because when you zoom in on one problem and you just focus on that and getting that into a rhythm, that's when you find the muscle memory. Once you get that muscle memory under control, then that's when we layer in the next habit or the next routine. That's how I rebuilt my routines. Not just for the season of life that I was currently in, but for the life I actually wanted to live. For me, it did start very small. I focused on my morning routine because honestly, that was the block of my day that was kicking my butt. I was alone with babies. So when I first had my third, I was learning how to breastfeed her, get my other 2 fed, and still get out the door on time by 8:15. Because my oldest's school's doors opened at 8:30. So I had to get so much done and figure out how to make it not feel like I was losing my mind or losing control. So what did I do? I laser focused on my morning routine, and I started tweaking and adjusting everything that I could until I finally found a rhythm that worked most mornings. You're never going to have perfect mornings. We live with children. But I did discover a rhythm that was predictable, that I could manage, that made the most sense. I figured out the order in which I needed to do things. I knew I needed to make the water bottles first because that helped me alleviate 16 requests for water. So just teeny tiny things in order for my mornings to feel smoother. Once I dialed that in, I started to realize, wait a minute, there are some things here that I could be prepping the night before. Because if I was just hopping into my morning, right, no prep the night before, I was already behind. There is not enough time to pivot or reset once the chaos hits when you've got to be out the door by a certain point in time. So I started stacking my habits at night, right after the kids went to sleep, something super predictable, which is what I call the anchor. At night, it's guaranteed my kids are going to bed at some point. So as soon as the lights were out and the kids went to sleep, I went into reset mode. I got backpacks by the door, any lunchbox cleaned and prepped, water bottles filled, computers charged, shoes lined up, whatever that needed to be for the next day. I did a mini stack and made sure that those things were always taken care of, including resetting the sink so that I didn't have a ton of dishes in it when I was done and wake up the next morning to a messy kitchen. Just a couple little adjustments. If there were sports or dance or errands that I needed to do the next day, I got it all prepped and packed and loaded in the car. And that became my evening reset. So that when I woke up, I wasn't scrambling, I was executing. And then I practiced it over and over until it felt natural. Because that's how you build a routine that actually lasts. It's got to feel simple. It's not by doing 100 things at one time. It's about doing one thing on purpose until it sticks. And what I found was eventually I got pretty polished at this routine. I had a relatively good idea of the proximate timing that I needed to have to be in the kitchen prepping breakfast. A little bit of confidence inside of my routine gave me the ability to decide to begin layering in my workouts. Since my mornings were all close enough in start time and I was saying, oh, this is working pretty good now, I could build another consistent stack to pop into my morning. So after I got that evening routine working well, then I added in a workout followed by a quick shower and I got ready. In order to make that all happen, I had to start waking up at 5:15. And at first, that was really early and I didn't like it. But after about 4 weeks, it started to feel more normal. More than that, it started to feel great. I absolutely love it. It's addicting. And because of that, it is becoming sustainable. But that's because I got the important routines locked down. I got the mornings running a lot smoother so that they're predictable. I can rely on them to begin around 7. So as long as I get the other stuff done before 7, then I can just flow right into the routine that already felt very consistent. The same thing actually happened for me with podcasting. So I usually record 2 episodes a week for you guys. And that takes me about 6 hours in total, from writing it to recording it to editing to posting. So every Monday, right after I drop the kids off from school, that's the block of work I focus on this. And honestly, it doesn't shift that much, even in the summer. It might just be a little later in the day, but typically on Mondays, sometimes a little into Tuesdays, this is what I'm working on after we get done with our breakfast routine. And in the school year, it's just after I get back from dropping off at school. So not every mom has a job to do outside of the home like I do, but that's not the point. The point is, the life I'm living right now, this is a habit-stacked life. It isn't overwhelming. It feels sustainable because I didn't build it overnight. I built it one baby routine at a time. And eventually, I had enough capacity to do the routines that actually worked. But it happened as I would layer one after another, habit stacking my routines so that it made my mornings smoother. It made my midday become more focused and productive on work time. And my evenings became the space to reset my house, be present with my kids, and enjoy a little extra time for myself at the end of the night. And that rhythm, it doesn't come from hustle. It comes from slowing down and repeating a small intentional stack of habits until they become a part of my muscle memory. And this is exactly why I believe that this workshop is so important. It's the reset you've been looking for. It's your chance to sit, bring your chaos to me live, and start the journey of rebuilding habits and routines that actually work for you and your specific circumstances. I'm going to teach you how to evaluate which areas of your life need attention first, because we're going to pinpoint the first routine you should master using a simple formula. Then we're going to stack out your evening routine in a way that supports your day, your energy, and your goals. And the best part, this technique, this isn't just for evenings. This might be where we're starting. We're putting our focus in there because I really believe that your evenings are where you have the most opportunity to influence the next day. We have the ability to go to bed later. Even if it's not fun, we still have that extra time. Versus in the morning, we start to creep up to that deadline. I got to get out the door at 8:15 to be on time for the rest of the world. Our evenings we can control. And once you understand it, then you're going to understand how to carry this technique into every area of your life. So tomorrow at the workshop is about you. Just 1 hour to start pulling those pieces out and trying to put it back together again, figuring out what's not working here. What can we do a little better so that we can have a better outcome? So go and register. You have nothing to lose. You really are going to gain so much. And yes, it is recorded. If you cannot make it live, then you are going to get instant access to the replay because I know we're moms. We're testing out summer. Does it work? Does it not work? I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know. But tomorrow is going to be a great workshop, and I really hope to see you there, Mama, so that we can start getting your life stacked in a way that supports everything that you deserve. So I look forward to talking with you then. We'll talk again soon. Bye.
Well, that's it for today.
Hey friend, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with another mama friend who may also be drowning in overwhelm at home too? Also, please leave me a quick review for the show on Apple Podcast. It just lights me up to know the podcast is helping you. Okay, back to cleaning up the Play-Doh mess and finishing laundry. I'll be waiting right here for you on Mondays and Thursdays with another episode. Just love and life, Jess.